The glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear gaming monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. Justice. Let the glorious battle begin. For victory. LG UltraGear gaming monitor.
First band is hilarious.
All right. Hello, guys, and welcome to the South Asia Championship League. We are in for a very exciting quarterfinal three today. If you've been watching the streams today, we've already finished with two matches and we have two more to go. Right now, the match is going to be between Exulansis Esports, who have been considered favorites for this tournament because of how well that they've played in the past. And joining them is going to be Deimos Force Rio on the red side. And with me today is my co-caster Loki. Loki, are you hyped for this matchup?
Extremely hyped for this matchup. I just can't wait to get in and start, throwing shade to all these bands and stuff like that.
Yeah, I
but
mean, what do you
yeah,
think
go
of these
ahead.
two teams? You definitely know about Exulancer. Recently, they've been killing it in the local scene, and they've won like the last two tournaments, and they just look like the best team right now.
Yeah, I mean they're looking really good. I mean, right now they've kind of adapted that WS strategy of just playing different roles and stuff like that. Like DC, I guess he plays top and he's played mid, and now he's playing AD at this game, I believe. Not too sure, but yeah. On the other hand, I think DF is a lot more standard in their team and in their play. They're just very good players that just came together and then playing the game and stuff. So I guess there is like a very big difference between play styles. But jumping right in this game, what do you think about the bans, man? Three support bans coming out on the side of
Yeah, that
Excellensis, and what do you
that
think about that?
I think that's a straight up target at Shifu because Shifu has been playing a lot of Lulu and Brom, and he has recently picked up Tarek. It basically they're trying to say that hey, we don't care about anything else. We just want to target the bot lane because we know we have an advantage there. Still surprises me because Shifu does play different champs. On the other side, though, the other bans make a lot of sense, right? The Yasuo against Red Corporal, the Wukong against Crow, the Trundle against Red Corporal, and Vidigram himself. So it makes sense. And every time when Graves is up, Video Gamer is gonna happily pick it. The guy has like over 500,000 mastery points in Graves. He is not really a one trick, but he loves playing that champ. But on the other hand, like Shokya himself is a very good Kindred player. And he himself picks up that Kindred. So very interesting to see the drafts come out. And Shifu's like, you know what, I'm gonna have none of your shit. I know you guys banned out my supportive supports, but let me just go up with some sort of an engage. And it's a Nautilus pickup for him. So
Yeah, he's stepping up to the plate, playing that alpha male support. Meanwhile,
yeah.
there's actually no bans coming over on the side of no support bans, however, coming on the side of DF Rio, and they've given Krenko his signature champion Thresh. So I don't know whether these guys are trying to be extremely cocky or they're kind of prepared for that. We'll get to know once the game starts. However, yeah, Graves in the jungle, Kindred in the jungle. We got two hooker champions as support. What's next?
I really don't know, man. Considering with Exulances, like they've just shown the ability to play a lot of wacky shit.
Oh, they've
And
given up
I
Katarina
I
as
he won't,
well. What
man.
is
Not
this
into a
draft?
Nautilus. If he picks that into a Nautilus and he wins, then he's officially the best Katarina in like SEA at this point. But that's going to be a Lucian pickup. And the best thing about this pickup, Loki, is that they can flex this. It can be DC playing it in the bot lane, or it can also be Katarina bot just going, you know what, I'm going to play Lucian mid. I'm pretty sure DF Rio knows that. And at this point, they can pick their top laner, which is going to be Ornn. So
Oh God.
very strong frontline already, man. Like they are looking like they want to kill. And I already like this draft. The Nautilus, the Ornn, extremely strong ults. Like there is micro to save there in that case with this lantern, but against 280 carries, having that beefy frontline is going to be really helpful. And what do you think, man? So far, looking at like all the picks so far, it does look like a lot of engages on the side of DF3 already.
Yeah, I know the bands, however, I mean, are kind of like throwing me off. I mean, three support bands coming out from Shifu is a little bit too much in my opinion. I would have, opted to ban out some, I
Yeah,
guess a lot more OP champions like the Ornn, maybe the Mordekaiser, probably like Diana or something like that. However, I'm not playing in this tournament and I probably don't know shit. But yeah, the bans are really, throwing me off. But the picks that are coming out are extremely, good champions. You've got Nautilus, Hard Engage, extremely strong. Ornn, he's just been an annoying champion ever since his release. Kindred coming out as well for the jungle. We're gonna have 280 carries jungling. I wish Dragoon was here to see this. He would have probably loved it.
yeah, it's like this is my meta right now. And the thing is, Mordekai is up, and Mordekai is a really good lane into Ord if he wants to choose to pick that. On the other hand, the Silas ban is really smart by them because Catbot has played Silas, and in a comp like this, where Silas can literally pick his, ultimate to steal at this point, it does make sense. Meanwhile, finally, Savage gets targeted low-key, because Savage is known to be a very, very strong mage player. He plays Syndra, he plays Diana as well, and his Irelia is pretty busted. He loves to play the Corki. We've always seen DF Rio tend to pick a lot of scaling in their whole lane. Their whole funda, their whole philosophy of playing is like, you know what? Let's pick champions that scale well, and we eventually win the long game. And
Oh
wow, this
wow,
time
T-Mob is gonna be picking up the Draven.
Oh Lord, okay.
Wow, this is gonna
Not
be
expecting
spicy.
that. Not expecting that, man. What do you think of that pickup there? Like
I mean,
Draven? Oh,
unless they were trying to put the Lucian in one of the solo lanes. Lucian, however, in Korea though, does really well into Draven. I mean, Koreans like whenever they high-low Korean players, every time they do see a Draven, they tend to go for the Lucian, and it seems to have somewhat of a it seems to be somewhat of a decent matchup into Draven. So, Urgot being picked up for top lane, I guess. Let's see what Catbot's going to be playing. However, I really do think that this is going to be DC is going to be playing this Lucian in the bot lane. I think Lucian is a good champion that could survive into Draven, and let's see the last pick coming out from Exulansis here.
they don't
I
have
think
AP right now.
they don't have AP. He's probably going to go with the Katarina. Oh no,
Nah,
no, goes
nah.
with the Orianna instead. Goes with the more team-oriented, supportive mid lane style. What do you think about that?
Honestly, it's a good blind pick. Oriana is one of those mages that Catbot has learned to play a lot ever since he started playing this tournament. But Savage can just pick Corki here, which is like triple AD carry might be a little too much. He can just go for the jugular and go for Irelia. He can play the Vladimir. It's really up to him. But like whatever it is, it has to be something scaling. And yeah,
Oh, they're
Cassiopeia.
going with the Cassiopeia to deal with the Orgod, I
Oh
guess.
lord.
Cassiopeia, really good champion.
It is into that lane as well. She just has to farm up and she will start to out damage the case. But on Oriana doesn't really have a bad lane matchup into that. So it's like both the mages will just want to scale. I do want to, however, talk about like now that both the champions and the drafts have sort of been made, right? Like what do you think of like both the compositions? I feel as if DF Rio have just gone with a very strong frontline engage sort of like a team draft. But on the Lance's side, it's like they have a lot of movements. They are pretty good at skirmishes. But like, what do you think of the Lance's draft coming out right here? Because I'm trying to make sense of it in my head.
Exulances, they have, I guess, better. I would like to say, I mean, drafts looks honestly really pretty even. To be honest, I think Urgot has the priority in top lane over Ornn. Ornn is a very good champion, and he can survive really well into Urgot. And he's going to be looking for mainly just like TP and team-oriented plays. Setting around objectives, looking to fight, looking to contest vision and stuff. But I feel like lane-wise, I feel that Excellences has better champions who can, I guess, lane better.
Yep, and the Ornn matchup into the Orgard honestly is pretty fine for the Ornn. Like it doesn't really matter at that point. Like Orgard will, however, scale up to be better in the late game, but again, Urgot needs some time. His levels 1 to 5 are like pathetic at this point. So Ornn will have a good advantage. Maybe post level 9, once he gets his Black Cleaver and his W is like on auto perma on, is when you can look to make this. But we keep forgetting this, but like Exulances have been that one team that have looked the cleanest on paper in terms of team coordination, right? Like in the last couple of tournaments, even this one, right? Like they've always had the players really be on sync, especially the synergy with Crow and Vitagamer when during these dragon fights have been immaculate. So whatever DF Rio are gonna pull out this game, it's really gonna be on Exulances to counteract that with their better teamwork. And in terms of scaling, however, I can't help but feel the Cassiopeia might just like outscale everybody here. But what do you think in terms of scaling? Do you feel like there is enough scaling on Exulances to deal with it? The Lucian might fall off. The Graves will be strong, yes. The Urgot will be really strong, but I just don't know if they're going to be as strong as the Kindred or the Cassiopeia or the Ornn, building out these items for
Yeah, I
these
know. I mean,
players.
on if you look at DF side, I really don't think Draven's gonna like scale that well, to be honest. Early game is gonna be an difficult champion to deal with, but however, if they could just, I mean, they have the Lucian and Thresh. It's an extremely strong lane. If they can kind of play around that and try to get Lucian to his item spikes, it's gonna be good. The most interesting lane that I'm looking forward to is Orianna versus Cassio, because a lot of people say it's Orianna favorite, a lot of people say it's Cassio favorite. I think it goes both ways, honestly. I think it's a really good mechanical skill matchup here in the mid lane, and I think it's probably going to be the most bloodiest lane out of all the three.
That's true. I mean, I can't wait for this match to get started. Guys, remember, this is the SACL, the Esports Club, powered by LG UltraGear, the one who all of the 8 teams have sort of already qualified for the main league, but glory is still up for grabs. If you reach the finals, you win. There is a prize pool waiting for you, and for all of these teams who are in the top 8, it's not just about coming the top 8. It's about winning and establishing the fact that they are the best teams. And right now, we are seeing two of the best teams. Amongst the ones that we have playing this sort of tournament, and I can't help but feel, Loki, we are in for a very exciting match. I feel like it's going to be a lot of skirmishes. It's really going to be up to certain players. And if I had to ask you, Loki, who are your players going to be to watch out from in each team? Who would you say they are?
Um, Probably all the players that are in this game right now. I don't know. I haven't really been following much, but there are some kind of teams and there are some kind of players that I'm really looking forward to. I think Kaka's team is very interesting. They're kind of switching around between Hammy support and sometimes, he plays top, sometimes he plays mid, and I kind of really like that. There's a lot of teams with a lot of flexibility around players, like Exulansis as well, just like very flexible amongst all their players and stuff. You DC play top, you can play AD and stuff. And I think these are the kind of teams that you really have to watch out for because you don't know what kind of weird, ultimate, cheesy strategies they have in mind.
Agreed. And I completely think like that's going to be the advantage. But my eyes are going to be still on probably Savage for DF Rio, because Savage has to be the carry for his team that he needs them to be. And on probably Exulances, I would say Video Gamer, because he has played a lot of Graves and he is pretty good on that champion. So Phase Rush on Graves, though, really, really smart by him. Needs more mobility and movement speed to avoid the on ults, as well as a lot of the CC that Nautilus will be throwing at him as well. So, and Zuko has opted for the Spellbook on, which is really good for him because he can, do the cheesy plays when he gets exhaust or ignite or ghost, and suddenly you're like, wait, where did this come from? I wasn't expecting that. So I like that the pickup is there. Plus, against a range champ, he isn't really going to be trading much, so the grasp doesn't really affect him, and I don't think he's going to use his aftershock much as well. So Dead Corporal, however, is going to play Lucian AD carry, and this is something interesting. Lucian Thresh, Wife Steel bot lane Loki against a Draven Nautilus. How do you think that? How do you think the lanes were? I can't help but feel like the Draven might have advantage, but like you said, Lucian is pretty good into Draven. So
Yeah,
how do
and
you?
one thing to point out that Lucian did take Guardian as one of the secondary, masteries, which is honestly really, I mean, using the resolve tree in a match like, in a matchup like Nautilus Draven, very important, very useful. And it's just, it just shows how much matchup knowledge that, Kranko provides when he's laning with any AD carry. And I still think like even though on paper it kind of looks like Nautilus Draven is a lot stronger, and I guess in a direct 2v2 it's probably a lot stronger, but there's still ways in which Lucian Thresh could kind of play out their lane into their favor.
All right, I think my game has the game started. Okay, I'm sure.
No, I'm on 98%. Yeah, and also I'd like to talk about DF Rio's bot lane right now because the last time DF Rio played, they played an extremely safe lane, Lulu Kog'Maw, and every time they've always practiced with these like very safe bot lanes such as Caitlyn Moore, Lulu Kog'Maw and stuff. And this is like this is something I personally haven't seen them play before. I mean, them to pull out such an aggressive bot lane like Nautilus Draven, it's gonna be honestly extremely interesting how they just completely snap and switch styles.
Exactly. Like the game has started. Do you think any sort of level one invades can come out, because they both have hookers in the support lane, and you could potentially see that someone might try to make a play happen. But we really haven't seen a lot of invades in the whole tournament. Like people they've just stopped invading, man. I don't know why. There was a time where invades were very common in the scene, but now everyone just wants to fan out, play safe, all that sort of
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is more to do with the format of a tournament. These are best of ones, and when you kind of play a best of one, you don't really want to play as explosive as you normally would, as opposed to a best of three or a best of five. But we've got some level one shenanigans coming on right now. Exulansis is stacked up as 5. Are they going to get the ward? They do get the ward. 10 rupees going to Thresh. Rich
mental
guy over
advantage.
here.
Mental advantage already, Lucky.
Mental advantage indeed. They're gonna go for the deep ward onto the red buff right here. Ooh, sweeper coming out of what's this guy's name? Video gamer. Amit Kumar that's his name. I kind of know him by his real name. I really don't know him by his IGN. But they think they're safe. They think they can take. They're free to take the red buff right now. They don't realize that there's a ward directly on the red buff, and I think this kind of gives away a lot of information.
Yeah, like they are stronger level ones. I don't know if the Kindred's going to be as strong, but the Kindred has marked the Graves. And I just feel like they don't realize that they are actually just there. Oriana is also there, and this is something Exulansis does a lot at level ones. And On has to be down the face check. Here goes the 1v1.
Here goes the 1v1. Who are they going to focus right now? One's going to get focused right now. He's going to flash away. He's going to get follow flash by the Graves. Is he going to get the kill right now? Another follow flash. First blood is going to go onto Urgot, and they're going to secure this red buff. What was DF Rio thinking? God damn it.
Yeah, Exulansis have this ability to play level ones really well, and yet again, Loki, they get themselves another kill. Flash being blown by Zuko, he's gonna have a hard time. Million, he chooses to walk back up instead of using teleport, and instantly Kindred just has to go farm his other side of the buff, and he's gonna have to leash. He's gonna get no leash at this point, which will set the Kindred quite behind.
Indeed, it is going to set Kindred right behind. And I would also like to point out the fact that when all that shenanigans was happening over in the top lane, both bot lanes took a very, very passive position. I mean, you can just see Nautilus and Draven just camping the blue buff bush over there, whereas, Kranko and Dead Corporal were camping, were literally staying, like, in the furthest most point in their jungle. And they were just, playing really passive. And, you can just see the amount of strategy and teamwork coming out from both teams.
Yep. Just to confirm, Loki, what timer are you at? I'm at 9.
I'm at 233, 234.
Oh, you're 5 seconds behind me. Come a little ahead, no? If you can.
I'll try.
42, 43.
Okay, I'm at 245, 246, 247.
Obviously. Man, like that early game has to set like Shokya quite behind. He has to just look to just continue to power farm at this point. There's no way in the world he can do anything else. And he is trying to do that, and he gets spotted on the ward yet again. He is quite low, and he does have smite, but it's looking like a tough game for him already.
So we have a small engage happening level 1. Cassiopeia not having enough mana to like spam those E's out is gonna have to back away.
Yeah, and that Crystal, like that start is so greedy. He wants to get this tier ASAP, but look at the fact he has no HP in the early game. Both of his spots are down, and like, I don't know if that's gonna help him out in laning phase because Oriana just keeps pushing onto him, and Oriana also has teleport. So she's in a good spot as well. And Exulansis have like the momentum's been going for themselves. 600 goal lead purely because of that first blood and also some CS advantage in the game.
Indeed. Cassiopeia being a level head of Oriana right now. Oriana not too far behind. He is a little bit behind in levels due to Graves soaking a couple of minions when he was walking through, but that's not going to be that big of a deal. He's now even in levels right now, and Graves actually has both scuttle controls. Wow, this is actually really good. This is exactly what Exulansis wanted. They wanted both scuttle crab controls on either side of the map, so Graves can play extremely aggressively.
Yep, and Cassiopeia uses the teleport instantly, goes back with the tier. Now she just wants to farm out. Meanwhile, on the top side, the wave is pushing, and Zuko has to be a little careful because he is flashless, but he is also an on, so he doesn't really care at this point. And yeah, like, because of how the level 1 jungle trade went, right? Like, Shokya found himself really behind, and he had no prior at all in both the river sides, and Exulansis smartly enough used that to get the scuttles and a lot of vision for themselves. But having said that, Loki, the game has stabilized a little bit, like, in the sense, like, after the first blood, really haven't seen much. Everyone just CSing at their own rate, you could say. Nobody's that far ahead of behind, but look at this, a gang coming in the mid lane.
And coming in the mid lane, TP's gonna come out right now. Ooh, he's gonna TP right on the Miasma. He's gonna have to flash out right now. Kindred not able to get in range to get anything. He's gonna take an auto attack, and that's gonna be just literally nothing coming out on the side for both teams.
Yeah, Kindred wasn't in range to do anything. Kindred just like instantly goes back to his jungle. He knows that he has to. Look at Graves already. Graves is like two camps ahead. He's gonna like get his level 6 a lot sooner than Shokya will. He probably will get level 5 as well before he gets level 4. And now on the bot lane, Loki, we could see another gank happening. And a flash hook.
However. Oh wow. Flash shot coming out from Thresh. He's gonna grab him right now. Lucian's gonna go in. Is he gonna get the kill? Ignite doesn't, however, finish him off. Sorry, my spectator was behind a little bit.
That's fine, but the fact that he was able to bait out the Lucian flash right there is really good because now it's both the AD carries who are flashless, and I have to give credit to Team Mob right there. Very nice bait. But yeah, the priority has been lost. A really good gank, a really good engage by Micro Ice, honestly, with the flash Q when they saw that the Nautilus was not there, and now they will reap the rewards of that bot lane play as they will get the first dragon off the game.
Exactly. First dragon of the game is gonna go to Exulansis right here. I gotta give props to Graves. I mean, this guy has played the early game almost like really good, like almost perfect. You could say he got the level one. He invaded Kindred's red level one. He got first blood off the Ornn. He was able to get priority on camps, and he was just able to secure both the scuttle crabs and the first dragon. Like Graves could not have asked for a much better early game.
Yep, and with how Exulance's comp is structured, they do definitely want to get some advantages in their lanes, and they have been able to. So all is really good for them right now. They just need to keep pressing their advantage soon enough. And look at this bot lane, could be in another trouble right now. Here comes Micros Media Gamer. That's a nice Draven. He will prevent any sort of engage from happening. But that could have been close for them. And I think what DF Rio just want to do is like, hey, you know what, guys? We scale, right? Like Cassiopeia scales, Ornn scales, and Kindred scales as well. So they just want to like keep farming. Yeah, the
we have a really close 1v1. Ult's gonna Shockwave's gonna come out. He's gonna get Savage. I don't know why Savage did not flash that. He should have, honestly, but that's gonna be a solo kill coming out from Catbot over there.
Yeah, like you would assume that that's really a point where you would flash. He probably decided not to, but then he ends up losing that. And Exulansis, the moment they get a kill, they just jump on to the next objective, which is going to be the blue buff right now. And Exulansis look really good. And this is what we're talking about from this team. Right? Meanwhile, at the top side, we see another fight happening. Zuko's going to be in trouble, and Zuko will run away.
He's just gonna back off safely. Nothing big happening over there. It's a stale lane, to be honest. Ornn versus Urgot.
Damn, dude. Like at this point, Exulansis are just putting the pressure. It's a 2,000 goal lead at 7 minutes already. Both the ADCs are flashes right here. And like, do you feel this is uncanny to see a Draven Nautilus bot lane getting pushed out so massively and have zero pressure? And Dead Corporal is farming up like a B75 CS in 8 minutes. That's like 9.5. Yeah, almost 10 CS a minute, right, at this point.
Yeah, exactly. 25 CS ahead of his opponent right now. Lucian Thresh, they just had, honestly, better wave management. I mean, they were able to force engage onto Draven before he backed. They were able to control the wave. They were able to start up a freeze and stuff. And they just have, DC for him to come from all the way from top lane to bot lane. He was, start picking up ADCs and playing it perfect. His wave management has been on point.
Yep. And that's going to be a problematic situation now, because in every lane of DF Rio is finding themselves in the back foot. Like Cassiopeia getting 1v1 was just disappointing to see, if I'm honest. But like Catbot is just showing up his authority. Look at him just standing in front. You know what? I dare you to try to get these minions. If you do, that's it. Poke with your Orianna, and I'm gonna like just keep you away from the wave. And like Savage is at the mercy of Katarina Bot in this mid lane right now.
I mean, he's getting pressured, really. I mean, I told you this matchup was going to go interesting. Like, it was going to be such an interesting matchup, and Catbot has proven that he is the better laner in this lane right now.
Yep, and Shokya finally gets to 6th Loki. This is the point where you can assume that he is going to look to gank some places. He already has his eyes in the bot lane. He's waiting for the Lucian to press ahead. Know that the Lucian does not have flash, and if Shifu can get an engage on, that is their advantage. But look at this numbers advantage already. Exulansis is like, you know what? We have more people than you do, bro. And then the engage gets completely thwarted. In fact, now it's they who are on the back foot. DF Rio just have to back off right now.
Indeed, right now. I mean, DF, they thought they had a good setup, but it was easily read by Exulansis Gaming, and Krenko responded beautifully. They got more members to walk bot. Mid lane had Prio, and Kindred had to burn his flash for that.
I really have to commend how well Exulansis are playing. Another Orianna ult though.
Oh, another Orianna. Sorry, Cassiopeia getting Orianna in her ulti right now. Orianna chasing down the Cassiopeia, flashes forward, gets the QW auto attack engage, but is probably going to drop the Kindred right now, and is definitely going to drop the Kindred, and my client's frozen.
My god, and he almost gets the kill as well. That's a 1-for-1 right there, and again, Exulansis are just putting in the pressure, and Catbot seems to be just having a field day with Savage. Savage does not look that comfortable on his Cassiopeia as he does with other champions. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Loki, oh, never mind.
We have some pretty hard engages coming out. Nautilus ulti is going to go on. Are they going to get the kill onto DC? They don't. Here comes Graves right now. He's going to clean house over here. Shifu trying to get a kill onto the ADC, but doesn't. And now they're going to probably get the kill onto Shifu right now.
He has to queue away his Nautilus. He does. He should be fine. The chase is
Meanwhile,
on.
Kindred on the opposite side of the map taking Rift Hurl. This is really good coming out from DF. A good cross-map play coming, but Krenko is just too flash. Ooh, dodges the hook. Are they going to let him live? They're going to let him live and take the dragon instead.
Oh, I really like this first itemization choice from Crow. He does not go for the Black Cleaver. Also, there's Dance instead. The lifesteal really helping him out. And yeah, that kill was really good. And this does allow them to get the Herald. But, Exulansis also get an objective of their own. So it's not really that they lose a lot more from that chase. Yes, the Herald helps. But now they're already 2 and 2 in Dragons, right? So when the other... They just need 2 more to get soul at this point.
We got some fight happening in the mid lane. Oh, it goes wide. Cassiopeia is doing really good for herself, but is gonna go down at the end of the day. Drops to micro ice's ignite. Shockwave not even being used there.
Yeah, at this point, you just have to feel like Savage is playing a bit flustered, I would say. This is not his game at all. And, Micro Ice with the perfect rope at the perfect time in the mid lane allows themselves to get another kill, and they get a couple of plates as well. This is looking amazing right now for Exulansis Esports. They are completely dominating the early game.
It's a lot of trading happening back and forth over in this mid lane. Catbot, proving that he can not only one-trick Katarina, but he can play other champions as well at a very high level.
One thing that Catbot has proven in the last 4 months is that he's no longer a Katrina one-trick anymore. He has a really good Silas. He does play Lucian, Corki, Orianna amongst many things. And in this game as well, one thing low-key I was not expecting was for the mid lane to be outclassed the way it was. I just assumed it's going to be a farm fest with both teams just going to do it, but just Savage just ends up dying 1v1 a couple of times. Is not good for him at all. Meanwhile, T-Mob has also died, which means Raven stacks are the adoration stacks have gone down. And
Lucian going very aggressive here, puts out the calling, gets some good chunk of HP onto Nautilus right there. Oh, they're gonna go for a fight right here. Gets Nautilus ulti. Is he gonna die right here? Gets the Lantern right into the Draven ulti. Shut down going for T-Mob. Finally, DF gets to get something in return.
And the kill goes over to the Draven Loki. Finally, some sense of solitude, some sense of, okay, you know what, guys, it's not completely done yet. Because, mind you that Rio are still playing the long con. They're playing for the scaling on their mids and their AD carry. They're waiting for those 3-item, 4-item power spikes where they know that when these team fights happen, they're strong. And Exulansis also know that. That is why they're pushing the pressure early game, trying to do as much as they can. And again, Savage is in a very, very horrible situation. Does he have the Kindred? Oh my lord, why was the Kindred was actually down at this point, and they will just kill him yet again. 0 and 4.
The 5-man over in the mid lane. I mean, we're used to seeing 5-mans in the bot lane, but no, we're gonna see a 5-man mid lane right now, and they're gonna get the kill onto Savage. That's 0-4 for the Cassiopeia. I mean, he must be feeling like shit right now.
I swear, it's just not a good day. I mean, a video gamer versus the Draven.
Oh, he's gonna get the 1v1 onto Draven. He is gonna be able to get this 1v1. Ulti is not gonna come out, is it? No, he does not have ulti, however. T-Mob needs to back right now. Krenko, does he want to chase him? No, he doesn't. Instead, he's just going to, walk in the turret, take a couple of turret shots, and act like it's no big deal, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Shockwave just uses the Herald because the timer was running out, and he's like, you know what, guys, let me get some of these platings, let me get some gold back in the game because I really need it. Right now he is even or slightly ahead of the Graves, which is one of the good things about Rio at this point. But with how fast towers are going down, Loki, it's looking like it's not gonna be sustaining for longer because Exulances are just in a very good spot in the early game.
Indeed, they're in a very good spot right now. Orianna has complete control of this mid lane. Shifu is going to get caught out of position. You can't take a very aggressive stance when you're so behind right now. Petrifying Gauge is going to come out. Doesn't really do anything. One QW from Orianna literally destroys Cassiopeia right now. DC is just going to tank the turret and take it. He is going to be pushing for a second tier turret. Meanwhile, T-Mob is just jacking off in the blue buff area, not really doing anything right now. But what can he do right now, to be honest?
Oh, he almost killed Savage yet again. That electrocute proc was not enough.
50 HP, I think.
We have to talk about the top at this point. You picked Ornn for the team fight. You picked these champions to team fight, and then you just ended up not doing anything yet. I think this is the point where
you have to have a team in order to team fight, right?
Yeah, they just keep getting picked off, right? They just keep getting picked off left, right, and center at this point.
So, Ornn is just not being able to be impactful. He had that one unfortunate death level 1, and after that, he's just, he's just in a stalemate lane. He's unable to help his team use his TPs or his spellbook. And, meanwhile, he can't really do anything. They should have tried to set up something bot. They were unable to. Mid lane has absolutely no priority this game at all. There's nothing much you can do, in my opinion.
Yep. And now there's a 5,000 goal lead at 16 game. The third dragon is up. Note that this is going to be an infernal dragon, so more damage. This is exactly what Exulansis need to be able to fight against this late game, scaling com that they've sort of drafted. I mean, Leo has. And at this point, if you look at itemizations, like Oriana's already finished a Luden's Echo, her boots have also been done. And even Lucian has a very one item power spike. Everyone is
Yep,
already
he's
at
got the
their
Blade
power
the Ruin
spike.
King's power spike. There's a 150 gold shutdown on the support though. Oh, Miasma's gonna come out. DC's gonna dodge it like it's no big deal. Now Cassiopeia looks like she's in a big of a problem. Flash Shockwave's gonna go on to Draven right now. He's gonna fall, I guess. So he's gonna fall with Graves ulti right now. Meanwhile, Ornn's coming in. Shifu's gonna drop like a fly right now. And DF Rio. What's going on? They're dropping like crazy. They have absolutely no chance in hell. Ornn's gonna be the last person that's gonna fall finally, and that's gonna be an ace coming out from Exulansis.
And you know what? I just have this feeling that whenever Exulances fight around Dragon, they tend to like completely obliterate their opponents. And this is a trend that we've seen, not just like in one game, but like more than 4 games. And DF Rio just looked so unprepared at that point. Like the ulti onto Lucian by Cassiopeia did not do much, and instantly Katarina bot went for the engage. They're able to kill off their main damage dealer at this point. And you know how well Crow played that. He ulted, I think, the jungler, and then he flashed out so that he would get the kill without being in the Kindred ultimate, and just a complete ace at this point. And you have to wonder, okay, you know what? At what point, like, do DF just say, I guess it's over, because it's looking so hard for them. 11,000 goal lead at 17 minutes, Loki. This is a game. This is something what we would generally call a stomp at this point.
Indeed, and it's just been a complete stomp. I mean, it started off with, Video Gamer getting complete priority over Kindred, and then it just, kind of stumbled on into the mid lane, and Catbot was able to completely destroy Savage, and then all of that together just went over to the bot lane, and, DC was able to get ahead right now. And, they've controlled every dragon so far. They're controlling everything. I don't think DF can do anything at this stage to come back into the game right now.
Yeah, it just looks like it's damage control at this point, and you can pretty much be sure that when 20 minutes strike the clock, Exilance are gonna go for the Baron. They're already going for the Herald. All the outers are down. The inners are next. The Baron is next. How do you stop this snowball? Honestly, you really can't at this point. You just have to make sure that Exilances make a mistake somewhere. You can capitalize on that, but you just need to continue farming.
I mean, one of DF's win condition is you wait for Krenko to throw, but I don't think he's in that throwing mood at the moment.
Yeah, nobody at this point is, and like I think DF's the one throwing a lot more because of how Cassiopeia died in the mid game. Like how often that she died, that mid lane loss of pressure was honestly the changing point of this game so far, I would say. If those deaths hadn't happened, then maybe, yeah, they would have been an equal start. But Exulances are relentless in their pursuit, and what a beautiful chain of ultimates. The Ornn, the
Ultimate's
Ornn
gonna go
ultimate,
down, Rip's
yeah.
gonna go down, they're gonna go for the they're gonna go, they wanna end the game right
Oh,
here.
the hook lands.
They don't give a shit. Oh, Hook's gonna get landed on the Shifu right now. He's gonna drop right now. I don't know, and the rest of DF is just sitting at base trying to save their KDAs for God knows what reason. Here comes Catbot, he does have Shockwave
Lord.
available. Hook's gonna go on to Savage right now, that's a 3-man Shockwave. Miaz, Petrifying Gauge is gonna catch 2 people right now. Is Catbot gonna die? He is gonna die. Shutdown's gonna go on to Kindred, but the game's over.
Faster than my co-op was in the AI games, okay?
That was a bit mean, Bishy. What's going on, bro?
I mean, no, I'm just like, it's just disappointing at this point, but Exulances are showing up huge in this tournament yet again. They are a team that if you give them an inch, they will take an entire freaking feat at this point, and they are looking extremely good. And like, props to them, like definitely proving to themselves why they are the favorites of this tournament.
Indeed, and to all the other teams out there that are looking to take the prize, I mean, they must have their eyes on Exulansis Esports right now. They've been performing phenomenal, and this game just proves it.
Yep, and this is going to be it for game 3. If you look at the damage dealt charts, you could see that Oriana was by far the highest damage dealer. But in a 19-minute game, like, you really can't even care about the damage at this point. And Exulances will make their way on to the semifinals. Who will they face next is something that you guys will see in just a few minutes, as the 4th quarterfinal of the SSEL starts in a few minutes between Deimos Force, the bigger sister team you could call them, and VP14K. Loki, are you excited for that one as well?
Extremely excited. I mean, last I heard it was 14K beat the Bangladeshi DF, I guess you can call them. And it's gonna be an exciting game. We're gonna have a rematch, so stay tuned.
Yep. All right, guys. We'll take a break. We'll join with the next game very shortly.